Would you say that this is also kind of like I'm not 100% sure the size of your team, but would you say like you guys feel much stronger as a team after going through this process, much more confident in like
Oh,
the
certainly. I
future of what
mean,
you guys are building?
yeah, I mean the main thing is, we hadn't had a mainnet product before. So we had to get through all the spider webs of, oh, there's these things that we built for testnet and they work perfectly on testnet. But there was a small problem with like the deployment process needed a slight update to work for mainnet. And just figuring out all those cobwebs and getting through them is kind of what we were talking about there. And definitely as a dev team, it just kind of, it makes us aware of all the problems that are in our way and how we can move through them more quickly in the future.
One other big problem was our website was mostly built to support one network. And for testnet, we just supported testnet so that, all of the RPCs pointed one thing. All of the wallet connections were pointed to one network. And now that our site, we're internally working to have it work with both testnet and mainnet so that people can basically go on mainnet, play the real stuff. But if they want to get more comfortable, they can go play the testnet version and still like play. Since we want to support both of those versions, one of the
Oh, I love
difficulties
that.
was
It's like paper trading, giving people the
it's
option.
exactly like that. So basically, both the games are going to be reporting the exact same prices the exact same way. So it's literally paper trading with the real thing. So if you're not comfortable going to mainnet with your money, you can just go to testnet and play around with some fake stuff, get comfortable, and then go to mainnet when you're ready.
Hell
And
yeah, that is
being able
cool.
to
That's
support both of
super cool.
those is going to be, yeah. We've worked it out internally how we're going to have our website switch between those two like very flawlessly, but that was also a pain point, just getting all that stuff running.
So, will you guys have like a faucet where people can come and just grab testnet tokens to be able to play
Yeah,
around with
if
it?
if you guys want to play with it right now, if you go to our main site, it's currently only supporting testnet at the moment. We have the main net not turned on because their contracts are not deployed and live yet. Um, but if you go on there, you should be able to connect Superhot or your Kepler, and you'll be able to make your viewing key for our test token as well as mint yourself your test token.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Okay, we got Carter here. Give me
Yeah,
one second.
if anyone has any issues with that, feel free to just to drop a comment in the space and we'll address it. But yeah, you can get some gas at the secret faucet, and then you can get some of our tokens at our faucet, which will be on the sidebar. When you connect your wallet, just open up the sidebar on the left, and there should be a little dashboard that'll walk you through it all. And then go into the slots, or go into the prediction market, or go into Bull or Bear, and feel free to play around. In addition, in the middle of the spaces, we're probably going to be dropping some links for feedback. So big airdrop opportunity to fill those out. We'll release those later.
Heck yeah, Carter, you joined at the perfect time right before we started. How's it going, sir?
Going good, going good. Just wrapped up the little Secret Network ecosystem call and happy to hop on here and hear about Satoshi's mainnet launch, which is hype as all get out. Just based off of the usage we've seen even over on Kajira with the cart project, I think Satoshi is going to blow it out of the water in terms of feature set. So super pumped to see that competition kick off. And Satoshi's got a lot of games up its sleeve, so to speak, literally, figuratively, philosophically. Well
Yeah,
said.
you're right. We are just starting with the Boulder Bear predictions, but after that, we're going to be rolling out all sorts of different games, which you've seen our test net. We've got blackjack, lotteries, and prediction market up our sleeve, ready to go. We got to put our final polish on those, like we have for Boulder Bear, but that's coming in soon. Speaking of our launch in general, we are looking to launch on Friday, August the 2nd. So that's coming up real soon, 1 week about from now. And if you're looking, that's going to be about noon Pacific, 3 p.m. New York, and 9 p.m. Israel, which is we're committing to that now. Some new information, new alpha for y'all. Make sure to spread the word. Tell all your friends to come and play at Satoshi's Palace on next Friday.
And as far as playing goes, if you go to our main site right now, you'll see there's a drop down for mainnet that currently has nothing populated in it. At those times that we just specified, that will populate with our game, and clicking on that will take you right to it.
Oh my gosh, so much alpha already being dropped before you even get the space started. This is going to be
That is
incredibly fun.
crazy. I can't wait to start gambling. Well, maybe that's the wrong buzzword.
Gaming.
I'm excited to start gaming using my staking yield instead
There
of
you go.
principal.
Got to put those profits into something. Go play some games with them.
All right, so
What better
we'll go ahead
use
and
of profits than to lose them and then hand them over to the
yeah,
Lord?
Hey,
Who is
if
the
you do your
Satoshi
technical
Palace house.
analysis right, if you pull up your trading view chart, you can maybe win if you're better than everyone else. Got to show us your
okay.
skills.
All right, I want to go ahead and set the space real quick. Just want to
That'd be
welcome
kind of fun
everyone.
to do
Carter,
prediction
can you
markets
hear
on
me?
top of prediction markets. I think election would be fun too. I don't know how many people track the election, but that's another fun one in the
Yep,
US.
that's something we've seen big on Poly Market. Definitely something we're looking to get after in the future.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Red, are you back? Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Carter, can you hear me?
Okay, maybe it's just me rolling with this.
All right,
What
this
would you
can be
guys say? What's kind of your guys' general strategy to get people using bull or bear?
So what we plan on doing is effectively, getting the word out via Twitter, and then what we want to do is basically get our current users, our testnet users. We managed to get 1,000 people to use our testnet. We want to get those guys first using the product themselves, and then we want to incentivize them to go ahead and spread the word throughout Secret Network. Make sure everyone on Secret Network knows about us and can come play on us, and at least gets their foot in the door. And from there, we look into basically taking Secret Network and say, hey, everyone in Secret Network, let's talk to all of our friends in Cosmos and bring them in. And that's where we're going to see some serious growth, is bringing all these different users in.
Or was that question aimed more for strategy on how to play
No,
it?
that's exactly what I was thinking. One idea that would be super fun in my opinion is do like a live stream where we have people like betting bull or bear, and I feel like we could have some very comedic debates and just like live stream of people actually playing the game. It's the concept of like we want as many people in Cosmos to see the game itself, and there's no better way of doing that than I think like a live stream of people like having a good time and actually like interacting with it, because it's the rounds close every, is it 5 minutes, 20
Yep,
minutes?
every 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we could
5
definitely do
minutes.
some nightly activities like that, where for like an hour we go live and we just basically just day trade with people.
I can see
Yeah,
some funny clips of us just doing technical analysis and be like, no, it's going up, no, it's going down. And it's just yelling at each other until someone wins.
And there are
yeah.
some crazy reversals too. Like sometimes you'll be watching it resolve, and it'll be like $50 up, $100 up, $200 up, and then in like 10 seconds it'll just drop and go negative, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I would say getting as many of the Cosmos kind of influencers and users, um, yeah, making that video content, putting out those live streams, and just like first and foremost, it's a fun application, right? Like, there's a lot of like serious applications in Cosmos, but like I think Satoshi's Palace should be on the fun side of things, and especially in like a depressing, bear market conditions. I think you guys have a unique opportunity to bring some fair and square fun to winning and losing, instead of the down only nature that many of us have had to be forced to vibe with the last year and a half.
Yeah, it's sort of a refreshing change from crypto typically being a finance application to being a gaming application. Is a lot more fun.
Test. Can you guys hear me?
We can.
You're good, Red.
Had to switch devices. Apologies, but it wouldn't be an official Twitter space without a little bit of rugging going on.
True.
Okay. All right. Cool. So I just wanted to set the space. You guys already started digging into some stuff. Got a really fun Twitter space. We've had Satoshi's Palace on the space before. We got to meet at least part of the team in Austin earlier this summer at DCC Day. I'm really excited to have you guys here today. I still think every time I think about Satoshi's Palace, I think about the season 2 Anon, the morph suit and the crown on. You guys made quite an appearance at DCC Day, and
That was great meeting you there. That was a lot of fun. Putting
yeah,
on the pursuit.
I mean, you guys are bringing some, like Carter had said, you're bringing some serious fun and diversity to this DeFi space, both in Secret Network and Cosmos ecosystem, and from Shade's perspective, and I guess just as a Secret Network DApp and a DApp within the Cosmos. So we're excited to welcome you guys into the fray, and you guys are doing it at a point where people kind of need this excitement the most right now. You guys have a bunch of different games, predictions, markets.
Yeah. Speaking of the Anons there, we've actually got a featured showcase of a special Anon that we ran a little, what do you call it? Sort of like a lottery before for whose Anon would get featured in the palace. And if you actually pull up our website now, you can see in the first main room when you navigate the palace.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
Has that Anon in that.
Yeah, and to see that, if you go to the main site, open up the sidebar on the left, click on View the Palace, and click on room number 1. It'll take you right to it, and you'll be able to see what we're talking about.
So I was looking on your Twitter earlier, and I noticed you guys have these background lobby tracks while you're playing the game.
Correct.
Something you guys shared back in June. Is that something you guys are still going to have?
Yeah, so at the moment we have we're
super cool. You guys might be the first DApp I've ever heard of that has kind of like default music while you're on the site. That's fucking really cool.
At the moment we're still testing it internally. We have it all done internally, but we're just getting out all the kinks to get it really nice and presentable. But yeah, on launch we're gonna have sound effects as well as music and everything for Bull versus Bear. And then in addition, we're going to be working on slots next, adding some sounds in, and just all around just animation or sound, fucking music, all that stuff. We're going to have the whole site just nice and presentable and clean. And you'll be able to toggle it on and off on the sidebar, adjust the volume, everything.
And we just want to give a nice shout out to our music maker, Wesley Jordan, who's listening in space right now. Big shout out to him for getting those sounds in there.
Yeah, absolutely crucial. It really makes the environment a lot more game friendly.
Oh, for sure. That's incredibly classy, in my opinion. You guys are going all out for this mainnet launch. Very excited for it.
Got to deliver quality.
No other way.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a showstopper. So you had mentioned that the first mainnet application that you guys are going to have out, first game, is going to be Bears versus Bulls. One, you give us just a real quick TLDR on what Bears versus Bulls is, and then what markets are you guys going to be supporting out of the gate?
Sure. So Bull versus Bear, it doesn't really matter the order, but whatever. Bull versus Bear is going to be a 5-minute prediction game where basically rounds open and close every 5 minutes, and that's facilitated on the front end. It's pretty straightforward and clean. Where you will bet for the next 5-minute interval, and you'll bet whether the price goes up or down. And then once you've placed your bet, when the betting when the betting closes for that, basically the price prediction starts. And over the next 5 minutes, the price will either go up or down on Bitcoin because it never just remains the same. And then if you bet correctly, you get the opponent's money. So let's say you were to bet $10 up, and an opponent were to bet $10 down, and then that was it. There's nobody else playing. Just to keep it simple, you would get $20 for guessing correctly.
Yep, and to put a quick summary on that, it's basically degen options trading, where regular options you might buy out like a month, but this is 5 minutes of an option.
Yep,
so
just keep it quick and clean. Basically a coin flip, but a little bit of technical analysis in there. So if you can figure out whether it's going to go up or down, you'll make some money on this.
Yeah, and just call out for the foreseeable future, it's going to be 0 fees, so you get 100% of your opponent's money.
Yep.
Really
we don't take anything. It'll be 100% peer to peer, no cut on our part, just facilitating a nice clean game.
Whoa. That's really, really cool. So as a user, let's say I did bet correctly, right? What is that process of claiming that winnings? Do I have to be there on site? Can I come back later and collect my winnings?
Yeah, so basically how it works is we have our contract set up to just track every single bet you've placed. And it basically just goes through, and when it detects a win, it'll just display it in there. So if you want to go play now, just again, we want people to feel comfortable with the game. Go in our testnet right now, play a little bit, and when you win, it'll be very clear. There's a claim button up at the top right, and it will populate with how many times you've won, in addition to how how much you've won. And then in addition to that, when you've placed a bet, there will be a history tab that will populate on the right side. And that history tab will show every single bet you've placed, and the amount and the side and how it resolved, so that you can track exactly what happened. So it's very reasonable for our users to place a bet and then leave for a few hours and come back. And, that bet won't be on the screen anymore because, its time has come and gone. But we will still track it and you'll be able to claim very easily. You don't have to go back and find it. You don't have to search it up. We'll just know whether you won or lost. And if you won, click the button and boom, profit. It's very straightforward and streamlined.
That's what you got to have for these types of games, for these really quick pace games. I mean, 5 minutes is a pretty short time frame. For 5 minutes, I imagine I'm probably going to stay on that page the whole time, right? Not going to end up leaving the page, which is
but if you do, it'll always be there for you. Like if you won and you didn't want to claim it for a week, do whatever you want, man. It'll still be there for you.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. So whenever this game launches, 5 minutes, is that going to be the only time interval that's available to play?
We determined that would be the most popular. We could expand it to an hour, to 10, to whatever. Changing it, we could do. We're not interested in that at the moment, but if there's enough reason to, we could totally change it. In addition to changing it, we could also add other assets like, Atom or Secret or anything. We just determined that 5 minutes with Bitcoin would be the most popular.
Yep. But if our community is telling us in Discord, hey, we want hour long for Ethereum, we'll give them what the community wants.
Interesting. So I imagine that the assets that you can have the games for, it's just a matter of, are they supported by the Oracle you guys are using?
We should be able to support any asset that has a coin market cap price.
Okay.
So we can support just about any asset. It's really what the users are going to want is going to determine our choices.
Okay. And just, this is my Carter. If you have a question, feel free to.
No, I was just going to say there's a lot of Cosmos bears out there that would love this type of product. So, and fun to kind of have people put their money where their mouth is in this type of game.
100%. Yeah. Just from curiosity, what was the, if you don't mind me asking, what was kind of the thought process behind the 5 minutes? Is it you want people to stay really engaged? Is there something about the volatility that you're seeing on those really short time frames that make it work really well for this type of game?
I think definitely what we were thinking about is, an hour. When I'm playing a game, I could not be fucked to come back in an hour and wait that long. It would just ruin my gaming experience. 5 minutes kind of felt like the in between. 1 minute. It is so the price predictions would be so random at 1 minute that even so I couldn't, with my amazing technical analysis, I couldn't convince myself that I could win on a 1 minute chart. But with 5 minutes, even though it's, I'm not that good of a TA, but if I were to, if I was a really good TA, I could see being able to make a prediction on a 5 minute interval.
But speaking about that, if you have some feedback that you'd like to give us, we're going to be dropping some forums and we can probably drop them now. But yeah, we're collecting feedback on Bull versus Bear as well as the site as a whole. And we have 2 forums for that. If you think we should do different assets or have different price periods, give us a reason why. We'd love to hear it. We're super open to feedback and super open to criticism. We want to give the best product possible. So please tell us what you think. We'll go get those forums for you right now. We can drop them in chat here.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to add them as a reply to the space. So one thing I'm curious about, and I know you guys haven't hit mainnet yet, so we haven't actually seen what this looks like kind of in the wild yet, but I'm curious what the bootstrapping process is for some of these new markets. Obviously, when you guys launch your first market, that'll kind of be the biggest one and maybe potentially one of the easier ones to bootstrap. But let's say you're adding new assets, right? You want to allow Secret to be used in Bull versus Bear, or have markets for Secret and Bull versus Bear for Atom. What is that bootstrapping process is like? Like let's say you have only bets on one side, people betting it's going to go up or down. Do you guys have a way to balance that out or potentially incentivize these markets, like incentivize engagement?
Absolutely. So currently right now, since this is our launch and we're offering a 0% fee, and you want to incentivize as many people to come in as possible, we're currently sponsoring 25 secret on each side of the bet for the start for our Bitcoin 5-minute price predictions. And we can see ourselves doing something similar for new assets when they come along. Since this is a pool style game, we don't need extreme deep liquidity in the game. We just need people on both sides to be able to play. And so that's our plan for that is as needed, we are able to sponsor these bets. And with that, you mentioned what happens if there's only a bet on one side. Our contract is very forgiving. So we have 2 null and void resolution mechanisms where if there's ever any question about what's going on and we can't receive a good answer, or if there's only a bet on one side of the pool, the users get their money back, no questions asked. So there's never an issue of, oh, I've only bet on one side, my money's going into the ether. No, we really built this user-centric where it's pretty dummy-proof. Even if for a freak second there isn't liquidity on the other side, no one gets harmed by that. And even if we were having our fees at launch, the fees would not be applied in that instance.
Heck yeah, that's really, really cool. And I mean, as a potential user myself, hearing that, you know, there are all these additional safety mechanisms is definitely reassuring. I've got Carter, unless you have any questions about what we were just talking about, I want to kind of dig into this super hot wallet that you guys have developed. I've heard you guys talk about it on a few different spaces. I know talked about it a little bit at the DCC day as one of these really cool features that you guys are providing for your games. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So the Super Hot Wallet is a browser-based wallet. Basically, everything's in the browser. So what that allows us to do is not require, all that the crazy signing. Kepler is coming out with, I think, some features similar. I saw something on Osmosis the other day where you could basically pre-sign a bunch of stuff. I don't really know what's going on there, but we're trying to basically mimic a Web2 experience. So if you're using the Super Hot Wallet, that'll allow you to basically put funds into it, and then when you click buttons on our site, instead of having to sign away and again click on a Kepler authentication, it just goes ahead and executes the transaction. So it's a lot hotter, which is why we call it super hot. If you were to compare it to a cold wallet, like something like Electrum or Exodus, it's much hotter. Things just happen instantly. It's very straightforward and clean. I don't think we are going to go live with it on mainnet. We want to refine it a bit more and get it a lot more user friendly for both funding and draining it. You know what I mean? So we want it to be a hot wallet so that the goal is you would connect your Kepler, load up your super hot, move some funds from Kepler to super hot, use the super hot, and then when you're done, you would move the funds back to your Kepler. Just so that your Kepler is your bank and your super hot is your credit card, essentially.
That's a great analogy to describe that, honestly. And that was my next question was what is the user flow for people who want to load it up for a little bit, play, and then at the end they're like, oh, let me go ahead and remove this just in case.
Yep, and that goes hand in hand with that the Liquefier concept we were talking to you about a while ago. When we get that 100% fully fleshed out, that is going to go hand in hand with the Super Hot Wallet.
Oh, can you touch on that? Sorry, can you repeat and or touch on what you just said? You said the Liquefier?
So that's what we've been, I think we discussed this a little bit already, Red, but the Liquefier concept is where we can use what's called Shade.js in order to perform all sorts of DEX things on Shade, but we can do it in the user's browser.
Okay. Sorry, I just didn't recognize that term.
And what that would allow us is, let's say you had, secret wrapped Bitcoin, right? And you wanted to play on our Bull versus Bear game, which only takes secret, right? If we had our Liquefier basically built into the front end, which we're working on, you'd be able to deposit wrapped Bitcoin into it. It would liquefy it into the deposit asset, which is secret, and then deposit it into the game. So basically, you don't need to have the asset that the game requires to play the game. You just need to have something of value. And it would handle it all behind the scenes. And it would notify you as well. It would say, hey, you want to go into this game. We see that you have these assets. Which one do you want to use? You click the asset and boom, you deposit it. And then additionally, when we're having super hot, when it liquefies out, when it sends it back to your bank account, which would be Kepler, we can have it, go any route you want. It could say, hey, you have this much secret in your super hot. Would you like it as secret, or would you like it as wrapped Bitcoin, or would you like it as native secret? And it'll do. Let's get this party started again.
Holy crap. Yeah. Twitter's making us fight for our right to party.
Hell yeah.
All right. Where did we leave off? I totally forgot where
we were just
at.
talking about the liquefier, so we can take it from the top.
Perfect.
We had just talked about the super hot wallet and how one of the core things we want on the super hot wallet is this liquefier concept, just to make everything easier on the front end for the user. And the reason that we're not going to have the super hot be on mainnet is because we're waiting for this feature to get done. So then I'll hand it back to Kenny to discuss this liquefier one more time.
Yep. So the liquefier is essentially, you should be able to bring any currency you want to Satoshi's Palace and play with it. If you wanted to bring your wrapped Bitcoin or your secret or your Shade, I think you should be able to place Shade as a bet down at Satoshi's Palace. And that's what this liquefier will allow you to do, is make that trade from Shade into a stablecoin like Silk, where now everyone's in a common currency for the bet, but they can put in any currency to place down, which will be traded into a stable.
This is, I think, one of the cooler aspects. I mean, I love the idea of the game in general, but being able to give users the functionality to effectively come in with whatever asset they want and leave with whatever asset they want. It's like it's the games or the way we wish games always were, but never were. Unfortunately, I think this is such a cool way to be able to provide the simplest UX that you guys, or probably the most user-friendly UX that you guys can. It's like trying to give users exactly what they want, the experience that they want.
And if we have users from all over Cosmos, we know they're going to bring all kinds of different currencies and want to be able to bet whatever they want.
And in addition to that, one of the things we're looking for is just multi-chain expansion. This is farther down the roadmap, where basically users could bet natively on Cosmos, and in one click, it bridges the assets over to Secret, wraps them, liquefies them, and deposits them all in one go, to where anybody in Cosmos can natively play on wherever they feel comfortable. And then we would just use Secret as that confidential computing layer to handle all the computation.
So I have to ask, what led to you guys thinking about all these? It seems like you guys have what some people might think about as like these small feature sets that when they combine together create this like really powerful UX. Were these some of these smaller features that are gonna, make the life of the user so much easier and more enjoyable while on Bulls or Bears or any of your games? Were those things that you wanted to develop as a result of feedback from users, or are these things you guys kind of set out from the onset?
Well, so
to include.
Yeah, we're developers at heart. We're not users, which is why we like this feedback so much. Like why we want to get feedback. And because we're developers, we were like, all right, what would be the coolest fucking thing we could build? And something that is, reachable everywhere, one click, super streamlined, is all the coolest thing. And because we're developers, we think we can actually achieve it. Because what we've noticed is that if you look at, other gaming products in crypto, other crypto projects in general, a lot of their UX, in our opinion, is due to lack of developer experience. They just can't streamline it properly because it's just too technically complicated, and we think we can.
Love to hear that confidence, truly. You guys are doing something special and really excited for everyone to finally get their hands on it. If you guys want to, like they said earlier, if you guys want to get a taste for what it's going to be like on mainnet, go play with their testnet versions. It's going to be, I think you had mentioned they're going to be exactly the same, right? They'll be mirroring each other effectively on testnet and mainnet once you guys go on mainnet.
Yeah, one bet on testnet would win the same time period as mainnet. Like they're both going to be resolving the same prices at the same time. So, you can paper trade, and once you get comfortable, you can regular trade.
So as you had mentioned, you want people to provide feedback. You had linked some of your feedback.
Yeah, we can submit those both again real quick
on the link to this space. So as you guys have been going through testnet, having people play around with it, receive feedback, going on spaces, asking people for feedback, what has been some of the most impactful feedback you guys have received from users so far?
At one point, we had a castle.
Could be what you guys are doing good, what you could be doing bad. Just
I
curious
think
on
the
both
biggest
sides.
thing I heard was that at one point we had a castle as our 3D background, and it should have been a palace because we're Satoshi's palace. And I think that was a big change, big fix we made.
Yeah, a lot of the feedback is, just the standard crypto feedback, GUD project, like game, keep working, stuff like that. But a lot of the more in-depth feedback was discussing, issues with viewing keys or things not loading as fast as they could or it not being super clear. So one of the things we're hoping to do with this product is we've, tried to simplify all the viewing keys away. We have one big master viewing key contract where once you make a viewing key on it, all of our games won't require viewing keys. That's you only have to have the viewing key from that one contract, and then everything else just inherits its viewing key power. And that already it's already live on testnet, so that's cool. And then in addition, we are trying to get more like endpoints working with us so that we're not going to have downtime and things are much more snappy and responsive. And then the last thing, which was just like usability, we've been taking a lot of feedback from our internal testing team as well as some of the users to make things more clear. To be like, all right, when I'm playing this game, it may not be the most intuitive. Just like when you're trading options or buying stocks, you might not know what you're doing. So we try to make it as simple as possible so the user can come in and say, all right, I know exactly what I'm doing. And in addition to that, we're going to be releasing tutorial videos that are going to be in our documentation so that if you don't feel comfortable even playing on testnet, you can watch this video and it will show you exactly what to do. It'll say, hey, get a Kepler wallet. Hey, get some funds. Hey, play this, do that, do whatever, claim and win. And we're going to have these videos posted soon so that users can like see exactly how the user experience is supposed to go down.
Big shout out to Wesley for that.
Absolutely. So you had mentioned Kepler a few times. You guys have your own super hot wallet that's going to be released later. Is Kepler the only wallet that is going to be supported?
No. Yeah. So at the moment,
so you guys are going to have others?
At the moment, our site already works. I think we took Leap off because it wasn't working with testnet, but it does work on mainnet. But yeah, at the moment, we have tested and shown mainnet use. Like mainnet will work with Kepler. It'll work with Starshell. It'll work with MetaMask. It'll work with Leap, and yeah, all those.
And super hot.
And it will work with super hot, but we're not gonna have that go live on mainnet to start.
I think the only wallet that I didn't hear that would be worthwhile integrating as well.
Oh, my bad. I forgot to list Fina. Fina also works.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have all of them
Perfect.
working, which I'm pretty sure is the most wallet integration of any app on Secret. I think.
Heck yeah. Shade might rival
You guys don't have super hot though.
because I know that is true. We do have native MetaMask integration and
Yeah,
OKX
we
wallet
used your
integration.
documentation. Oh, we don't have OKX. Yeah, but we used your documentation to get MetaMask on our site. I think you guys had some comments. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely love to see that. I mean, it just makes it easier for more users to get onto the Secret Network
Exactly.
app layer. Whether they're going to Satoshi's Palace, they're going to Shade. Ultimately, I see lots of synergies between our applications, and I imagine our user bases will overlap quite wonderfully. So glad you guys were able to get some use out of that documentation.
In addition to that synergy, we're looking at also integrating stuff like what's it called, Cato Money, to basically just have that on and off ramp for users as well.
Oh, hell yeah. That's incredible. That combined with the super hot is
we want anyone to come on and just
features.
super simply come play the game.
Can't forget about those fiat users. Anyone still using fiat, I don't know, but
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
There's still crypto
Yeah,
users
people do
too.
use that stuff.
So you guys had mentioned earlier in the space, for anyone who didn't catch it or is joining for part 2, you guys are looking for a mainnet launch next
Correct.
Friday. That's going to be absolutely incredible. Are you guys doing any sort of launch party on Friday? Anything that people can come and join? And you had mentioned potentially
To be
doing live
determined.
streams and
Yeah, to be
stuff in the
announced.
future.
Yeah, to be announced.
Okay,
Stay tuned,
okay.
but yeah, there should be some fun happening that weekend and Friday.
Heck yeah. Well, make sure to let Shade Protocol know. We would love to participate in this launch party. I love that you guys mentioned that you can incentivize markets by, being able to kind of place bets on both sides of a particular market to kind of put some base level of
Yep, and on testnet,
takeaway
you'll notice that's already live.
in.
If you go on our testnet product, you'll see that we're putting 5 test tokens on each side of each bet. So you'll notice that there's always a consistent pool on both sides.
So just out of curiosity, let's say someone wanted to incentivize it for a full day. Would they have to go and every 5 minutes place those bets, or is it, is there potentially a way to do that in a slightly
Yeah,
more automated fashion, or
we
is
have
that
it
kind of up
entirely
to?
automated. At the moment, those things are closed source, but we're likely going to be open sourcing them. We're also on that note, we're helping some of the SecretNet developer team do some testing on their new DevNet. Not the DevNet that Patrick announced today, but the DevNet that a few of the other developers are working on. We're looking to do some testing on node infrastructure and increasing throughput of the chain as a whole. And we're going to be releasing our scripts to those teams so that they can do testing and basically just crank those scripts up to the max and see if it bottlenecks the chain. So once we release it to them, we might open source it so that everyone can see if people wanted to fund both sides as well.
That's really interesting, and I imagine this is pertinent research for you guys because you could have hundreds of markets going at one point
Yep.
in the future, and you're getting queries from all these different for all these different assets on these regular intervals. So that's really cool to hear you guys are thinking about that scalability long
Yep.
term
Our
already.
goal is to make the block time on Secret much faster and make the throughput much higher. Because at the moment, Secret can put 1 secret every second. Blocks are 6 seconds, and they can put six secret per block. We're hoping to at least double that, and then we're also hoping to get block times to be faster than 6 seconds, so that gameplay can be a lot quicker. And that would just further
So one
encourage
thing,
the DECC narrative of just confidential computing. If you can compute faster and you can compute more, you're a better compute layer. So just keep cranking those numbers up.
absolutely, and that's actually a perfect segue into the question I had for you. We haven't really talked about the value of privacy in the games that you guys are providing. I know we talked about it at DCC Day, but for some people who maybe are aware of prediction markets or they're aware of some of these different games that you guys are different types of games you guys are bringing to Secret Network mainnet soon. Why is privacy so valuable to you guys in the different games? Maybe even just in predictions market. Why is this valuable to players of these games?
So for bull versus bear, it's mainly, we believe all users should have control over the data, and that means the ability to keep it private. And most public blockchains aren't going to offer that in any way. It's everything is right up and available on whatever block explorer. In addition, for our future games like poker, it's just absolutely vital because if I have a poker hand, I don't want my opponents to just see it on chain and be able to cheat. It's just not going to be a fun game of poker. But when we actually build poker, that's just absolutely necessary, and that's every game, every actual game that's very interesting and fun to play. Even when we get into large games like CS:GO or League of Legends, there's always some concept of fog of war of knowledge that one team has but the other team doesn't. And in order to implement that, you just need Secret Networks privacy.
So on that note, like as you guys have been working on building the front end and developing this like really slick user experience that you guys have in mind, how have you guys been kind of working with privacy in mind, knowing that there's certain data that you want to be able to keep only for the users and the public won't be able to see that data? How has that kind of influenced how you guys have kind of had to make some adjustments or make some uh, yeah, make some adjustments with the way you're building the front end with
We
privacy in
haven't
mind.
really needed to make any adjustments. We don't run like anything that requires like a centralized database. So everything's client side. And it not even as like a design choice, really. We just wanted it to be simple. And we were like, yeah, we could run databases and we could track user information to like make it easier, but we just didn't need to. So, you know,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I guess I was thinking a little bit down the line of like, let's say you wanted to have potentially leaderboards for some of these games, right? Whether it be, things like poker or slots or maybe even predictions markets. Maybe someone wants to be able to tout their ability to properly predict things really, really well. Um, just thinking about how the privacy, being able to respect someone's privacy while also being able to highlight maybe some of the usage of some of these games or like how good some of the players of these games are. Just trying to think about how privacy impacts your ability to do that because it's something we have to think about with Shade,
Yep.
as
So
well.
there's sort of like two pieces here. What we can do for overall metrics like usage statistics is just effectively collect anonymous user data where there's been this amount of money that's gone through the smart contract or this amount of bets placed on the upside of Bitcoin or the downside of Bitcoin. And that just is completely detached from the end user, so we're not invading anyone's privacy there. In addition, I like that you mentioned leaderboards. That's something that's on our roadmap, is to actually make uh, the ability for you to opt in to being on the leaderboard. So like if you were absolutely just dominating bull or bear for like a month and you wanted to be number one on the leaderboard, you could opt into that by essentially providing the viewing key that shows that you are the best bull or bear player.
That's kind of cool. It's kind of like on Stash where you can choose to reveal your ownership or reveal that you have or participated in particular claimable
Yep,
drop.
just like
That
that.
that's super cool, and I think that there's a lot of people who would be uh, happy to tout their amazing TA skills um, through polar bears.
Absolutely. And for games later down the line, we've also discussed internally the idea of anonymized usernames. So with Secret Network, you have the ability where a user could, completely unbeknownst to anyone outside of themselves with their viewing key, set up a username to be associated with their contract interactions. So we'd be able to have a proper leaderboard structure just with usernames as opposed to wallets. And that would also be completely opt-in as well, where a user would have to go ahead and set up a user profile for themselves. And some people aren't really interested in that, so that's why it's opt-in. And that's scheduled for down the line once we have more serious player versus player games.
That's really cool. Yeah, you guys are taking an approach towards UX that I feel like a lot of people, at least in the Cosmos, we haven't seen that out of anybody, and I think that's going to make you guys stand out really, really well. Excited to see this culmination of, UI, UX feature sets, and then also just this new functionality. I guess I've always been interested why things like predictions markets haven't taken off a lot more. They seem like fairly simple products, right? Betting
they
up and
they
down.
seem that way for
Yeah,
sure.
we like to make it.
Yeah, that's why I made sure to include that qualifier there. They
Yeah,
seem that
the
way.
contract is very complex, and the front end is also the biggest part of it is just keeping it chugging along at such a high velocity. 5 minute times where everything is resolving properly, everything is handled properly, things are staying current, making sure that all to the user is very streamlined and presentable was a challenge. But I think we've nailed that challenge, and it's very, very streamlined and clean.
I'm glad it seems simple. It means our UX is doing its job.
I guess maybe the user story
Yep.
seems simple,
That's the
right?
goal.
I come here, I feel like something's going to go up or something's going to go down, and it's a matter of clicking a button to confirm my thought. But yeah, I'm glad you guys were able to persevere and bring this close to mainnet. We've got less than 2 weeks away until you guys are on mainnet, and myself and the Shade team, and I'm sure most of, if not all of the Secret Network is incredibly excited to see another D app that's got this much momentum behind it coming to Secret Network's mainnet. Um, for people who want to follow what you guys are doing, maybe people want to figure out what you guys are doing for the launch party. They want to see what you guys are doing the day of the launch. What's the best places for people to stay in contact or stay up to date with
Most
what
of
you
our
guys are doing?
announcements will come through Twitter. So, nothing will get past Twitter. Twitter will say everything. But if Twitter is not your main thing, you can join our Telegram or our Discord. Those are the two other places. All announcements get posted everywhere, essentially. But Twitter's the first, and then it trickles into Discord and Telegram.
Perfect. So anyone who wants to stay up to date with what Satoshi's Palace is doing, make sure to go ahead and follow them on Twitter. Make sure to go ahead and join their Telegram and Discords. I recently just joined both of them, and really excited about the level of activity that's going on there. Appreciate everyone who's joined us today. I know we had some difficulties with Twitter, but we'll persevere just like we always have. And yeah, just want to say thank you to Satoshi's Palace for joining us today. Do you guys have any other pieces of alpha that you might want to share, or any other thoughts that you want to share?
Real quick before we hop off here, just want to call out, next week, Friday, August the 2nd, make sure to come out, check us out on Mainnet Secret Network. We're going to be launching at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. New York, and 9 p.m. Israel. And the whole weekend's going to be double XP weekend for the airdrop. So get on over here.
Yep. One more note on that airdrop. Since, as you know, we don't have a token and we haven't announced a launch for a token yet, that means that we're still collecting wallets for airdrop. Those collection processes are, engaging with us on Twitter, joining all of these chats, being nice, getting roles in Discord. In addition, submitting your wallet in our airdrop form and playing the games. Of course, playing the games. All of those metrics are being tracked, and we're going to incentivize everybody who helped us get to where we are. So make sure to participate, make sure to play those games, make sure to fill out those forums, do everything you can. And when it comes time for a token, you'll be happy.
And last thing is early August, be on the lookout for a stash campaign with us. We'll be releasing our first purely fun and community engagement NFT over on Stash, and keep a lookout for that.
Great.
Absolutely love to hear it. Great energy, great alpha to end the space on. Again, want to thank you guys so much for joining us today. Like they said, next Friday, look out for the launch of Bulls versus Bears. Hope to see you all there bidding. I know I'll be there. If you guys are doing any sort of live stream stuff, I'd be happy to join, chat with you guys. This is incredibly exciting. I don't know if I've been this excited about DApp launch pretty much since Silk came out. And that was an incredibly exciting moment. That was like a year and a half of culmination of building, and obviously working very closely with the Shade contributor set. But this is something that's going to be incredibly fun. I think it's going to draw a lot of attention. It's going to draw a lot of usage of the block space on Secret Network, which is great for the network. And yeah, I see nothing but good things ahead of us. So appreciate everyone being here. Hope you all enjoyed the Twitter space. Make sure to follow Satoshi's Palace. Make sure to follow Shade Protocol. And with that, we'll close this out. And as we always like to say, there's plenty of room in the shade.
Thank you.
Take care.